with Babaji because of autobiography of a yogi. And then when we were in Thiruvannamalai, Luke and I and Dermot and Kevin visited his birthplace and that, you know. So, but it was, I found it strong. I found it light, very, very bright, warm, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of energy going through my body, you know.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you next that, I knew that you went to Tiruvannamalai and Babaji's birthplace. The biographical story that I mentioned before we started, his birthplace is in southern India, very there at the very south, in a what do you call it? Tamil Nadu is a state, one of the states in India, and I think it's Parangipettai, the place where Babaji's birthplace is. There is this small temple there. I haven't visited there, but I was just gonna ask you that did you go there? And yeah, it's wonderful that you went. There are many awesome places in southern India because in Tamil Nadu and in southern India in general, there has been a really strong tantric tradition for thousands of years, like literally thousands of years, having great yogis and mahasiddhas walking around. So, you know, when you have countless generations of that caliber practitioners practicing at places and consecrating temples and hills and the whole land, um, that's what you get.
Yeah, the birth. I think it's the birthplace they claim for Babaji, where we went with Joe and
Yeah.
Kevin and I. Yeah, and it's in a very remote village, and it's elevated at the top of a hill. And when we went, it was evening, and it was so serene. It was really peaceful, and they did a very nice job with it's a small temple with a walkway and then a very small sort of sitting place, like with pictures of Babaji, and it's quite small, it's like a chapel, but the energy was just it's so calm. It was very sweet, and like open air. Part of it is open air, and it's really special place. I mean, it feels like a set for a film or something. It feels like you're on a set. It has this like magic in the air.
Yeah.
But that session was really sweet just now.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
like youthful exuberance for me, just sort of cut into the core of just life energy, just so sweet.
I just posted a link of a different picture, different rendition of Babaji, and especially Joe, if you open that, you can all open it. But it looks like a fellow with a long white beard and hair. So, Joe, if you had a loincloth and lost other clothes, you would look like Babaji, exactly like him.
Thank you.
Kim, I was just when we were kind of starting the session there, before we actually started proper, I was thinking, I must ask Kim now to kind of talk more about the difference between accessing deities and accessing the gurus, and that you say that we invoke the master's blessings and the gurus, and that we can access them. And just as I was thinking of it, I felt a thing here, like a little charge. And then I felt quite kind of I felt some kind of charge, And then during that, I felt with the Babaji, I felt it kind of, do you know what it was like? I felt it kind of coming and going for me,
Mm, mm.
And I think you said it's quite subtle, like, and it was like kind of, little waves, like warm water, waves of, kind of, not a strong sea, but gentle waves lapping up on the shoreline type of thing,
Yeah, yeah.
And just with the break there, it's like I feel kind of, a nice sense of clarity, sense of peace, sense of, not being bothered, like, not being troubled,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds good. So you started with the comment of difference between gurus and deities, and so gurus are people.
Mm.
Most gurus have been in human form. Some of them haven't. Many of them haven't. But some of those who are familiar with us, they have. So they are people.
Yeah.
But we can relate to them. We have their biographies, at least parts of them, depending on the master, and then we can relate to them as, like to other people, except that they are Mahasiddhas, spiritual masters, so always with a sense of respect and devotion in that case. But deities, I understand why it might be confusing, or maybe not confusing, but hard to tell a difference between gurus and deities, because both have similar charge, similar presence. So there are some deities, both in Buddhism and in Hindu Tantra, deities that can be practiced without empowerment. But as I've said so many times, you've heard me say so many times that tantric systems have their own set of deities or deity that is practiced, and these deities are always received. One begins to practice the deity or deities through an empowerment given by the Mahasiddha or teacher of the lineage. So I don't really have a, like, I think that's really enough what you need to know about it, because it's kind of pointless to talk about everything, because you can find it yourself, Connor. When you have a day off or have a couple of hours extra time, sometimes take it into your own meditative study. Yeah, we have a list of Mahasiddhas, many Mahasiddhas. The list of Mahasiddha family is on the website. You can find it there, and just go through them one by one. So in that way, I feel that it's pointless for myself to keep talking what I've experienced, because that won't give you the experience. So you have to have your own experiences. That's always the whole point. There was actually, I think many of you saw, but there was this one Swami from Thiruvannamalai who joined our Sangha last week, Kumaraswami. Really wonderful man. He's been a sadhu, a Swami, for 35 years now. Awakened in 1968. So he's been around for a while. All right, let's continue with Patanjali.